Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Stream It or Leave It. Today we're going to be talking about Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. I was a fan of the Da Vinci Code in high school, the book and the movie later on, and I even liked Angels and Demons just fine, so I thought the show couldn't be bad. I wasn't thrilled about it though, just mildly curious enough to give it a go. Anyway, let's talk about the first episode. The show starts 3 years ago in a prison in Turkey. An inmate is being whipped by the guards as the others watch on and cheer. Then we're in present day in a Harvard University symbology lecture that Robert Langdon is teaching. In this particular class, he asks the question how benign symbols become malignant. Then he gets a call about an emergency situation at the Smithsonian. Can he fill in to give a talk on behalf of his mentor Peter at some gala? Can he be in DC by this afternoon? Meanwhile, in a lab, Catherine, Langdon's ex and now friend, and her colleague are monitoring a group of monks who are chanting. The chanting appears to have an effect on cells, arresting their growth. These are cancer cells, by the way, so this is some seriously cutting-edge stuff, I guess, even though it might have a whiff of pseudoscience. I don't really know if that actually matters much in Dan Brown's world. Anyway, we're told that Catherine is in the field of kinetic science. Langdon thinks that it's pseudoscience and has a fairly low opinion about it and jokes about it to Catherine, but his intellectual snobbery doesn't come off as mean or anything. He's pretty good-natured, or at least I get that this is how his character is meant to be. So before Langdon gets there, another guy passes through security and he comments that he has a ring on underneath his cast and that's why the metal detector pings him. And we're going to come back to him. Langdon arrives in the building and there is no gala. The building is empty, almost closing, and in fact, the gala room is locked. Just then he gets a phone call and someone on the other end tells Langdon that his mentor Peter's life hangs in the balance and depends on whether Langdon can find an ancient portal somewhere in the city and unlock it. Apparently Peter will show the way. Suddenly a severed hand, Peter's hand, appears in the middle of the museum. Langdon knows this because he recognizes Peter's ring. The finger is pointing up at the ceiling, and Langdon tells the CIA lady who's also there, Sato, and the security guard Alfonso about what is on the ceiling and what it means. He tells them that this portal that he's meant to find is said to unlock human powers. Langdon then calls Catherine to tell her that her father has been taken. Walking outside in the park, the guy from earlier with the security guard is looking pretty shifty and he's on his phone when he gets stopped by police who ask him for his ID. He attacks them with what looks like supernatural strength, and he has tattoos all over his face. Meanwhile, inside the museum, etched on the bottom of a wooden brick is the number of a room in the basement, so Alfonso, Langdon and Sato make their way down there. Catherine is sneaking in somewhere too, her father's house. She takes some secret looking papers and is also caught by the CIA, who are at the house as well. Anyway, the trio goes down into the basement and it smells like sulfur, and they find themselves in a place where Langdon says that Peter might come to contemplate his mortality. I guess this is what these spaces are for. And the CIA lady cryptically comments that maybe Langdon didn't know his mentor that well. Just then, it looks like the walls are shifting and closing in on them, and all three manage to narrowly escape, and they have in their possession now a stone pyramid with an inscription on it. Okay, so at this point, I remember hoping that Alfonso and Sato would be along for the whole journey because I do enjoy their characters. Then the mystery guy calls Langdon and asks him what he's found. It's the guy from the park metal detector incident, and after that someone shoots the guard posted outside Langdon's door and Alfonso, although it looks like Alfonso is going to be okay. The guy gives Langdon a burner phone and tells him to get going to find the portal. Catherine arrives just as Langdon is leaving and she says that she has something that was really important to her father that might help him. He instructed her to destroy it. He told her that it was worth more than his life, and she says that she's coming with Langdon. By the way, the seal on this letter, Peter's letter, matches a tattoo on the guy's arm. This is the Leviathan sign. All of what's been happening at the Smithsonian in the present day is somehow connected to a prisoner who 3 years ago was beaten to death. Sato tells her colleague that they'll be going to Turkey to find out what the connection is. At the end of the episode, we see Peter being held hostage by a man full of tattoos. He's being kept alive or slowly poisoned by some kind of IV, and the man tells Peter that he'd better hope that Robert comes through for him, not like Peter's disappointing son Zachary. He tells Peter that he was there with Zachary at the end, and in fact, he's the one who ended him. And that was the first episode of The Lost Symbol. Am I going to stream this? I mean, maybe one day when I'm short on shows to watch. I'm not hooked enough to carry on with it right now though. It's Dan Brown, the history and the premise is always going to be interesting, but the show itself just didn't move me much. It's a fine enough show to watch while you're doing chores though. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.